What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Game of the Week show, episode number 13. I'm your host, Matt Southwell, and on my right is Dan Gilbert.
Hi, Matt.
Hello, how's it going?
Not too bad. First weekend of football.
Excited?
Yep. You looking forward to it?
Yeah, sure.
No?
Well, I like the Eagles. You know we do fantasy stuff, so I'm not wearing my football jersey excited.
It's topical.
It is topical.
We'll get to that later.
We will get to that, and that's actually a reason why this week we have Chris Grantham.
Hi.
Hi, making your YouTube debut.
Yes.
Ready for that fame. It's going to hit you like a roller coaster.
Yeah, I'm expecting at least one more Twitter follower.
At least.
I was going to say, all that doesn't follow are people watching us.
Just to give you an indication, our last video has been watched by over 12 people.
Wow.
So
that's a lot.
But anyway, thank you for the 12 out there, although it's probably only 10 because me and Dan watched it. But thank you to 10 out there. Anyone new to the Game of the Week show, it is three friends sitting around this table every Monday to discuss the latest news topics in the video game industry. We'll then round out our show with our featured Game of the Week. Okay, so let's get straight on with the news. And the first item on our news this week, Minecraft has finally come to PS4 and Xbox One. I think everyone in the world knows what Minecraft is.
I think pretty much in the gaming world you can't have escaped it.
No, but I'll be honest, we've spoken before, we've tried it but not really got into it. Chris, as our guest, we'll let you go first, but you're also quite a big fan of Minecraft, aren't you? What is the hook on it?
It's just the freedom to be able to play and do anything you want almost. Just you can play the game however you want, you can just build stuff, you can create really complicated designs using redstone.
That's fine. They'll know what you're talking about.
I've seen plenty of videos of it, so
yeah.
I know of it. I just never liked it as a game to play.
Yeah, because you've got two different modes.
I don't have the creative streak in me enough in the sense of to look at it in its blocky form and go, I'm going to build that and then get it done.
Yeah.
So that's where the game has fallen from me, because I get it, but
just not creative enough.
Yeah.
Stick to that structure. Because I think I came into one of your Minecraft worlds once, didn't I?
Yeah.
Briefly on PC, and you built like this huge like house with like portals to different places and stuff. And I was like, how do you even start though? That's like what I don't get. Like,
you start by going on the internet and watching other people do stuff. Otherwise, you have no idea where to go.
That's fair enough.
You could wander around doing nothing for hours and hours and probably just die of starvation. But
yeah, I tried it. I did try it. I tried to get into it because you got the mining mode, which is the main.
Yeah,
and then you've got like a creator mode where you can basically you have unlimited resources.
Yeah.
See, I tried to make a football stadium.
I remember that.
I remember that on your phone. Yeah,
I was doing it on the PlayStation mobile app, and I got as far as doing the pitch, and I was like, nope, this is taking too long.
Yeah,
but
the scaling wouldn't be very good either.
No, but this is a big news for people. Just for anyone out there who's actually got it on the PS3 or the 360, there is an upgrade program where for £3 or $5 you can bring your save file from the PS3 to the PS4, Xbox 360 to Xbox One. So that's quite cool. But it is a one-time only thing. Once you've gone there, there's no going back. You gonna get it or stick to PC?
I've got to be honest, I haven't played it a huge amount recently, so I probably won't, but you never know. If they offer some extra features on it, I might have a look.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, number 2 on our list, and at a Nintendo event last week it was announced that a new 3DS and 3DS XL will be coming out. It's coming out firstly in Japan in October 2014, not coming to the West till 2015. Guys, you've seen this console, it looks pretty much the same, it's just internal upgrades, better battery life, better power.
But it's got 2 new buttons.
It has got 2 new buttons.
And a new thumbstick.
It's like,
well, that's one of the buttons, isn't it?
Okay.
There's 2 buttons plus a thumbstick.
Yeah.
Oh wow, 3 buttons.
It's Game Bro. It's whole new design. Breaking
so
the field wide open.
You're excited for it then?
No.
Okay. Well, I'll say this. I like the idea that they've tried to go with dual thumbsticks, but have you seen what the second thumbstick looks like?
Yes.
It looks like a nubbin.
Yeah.
It's really weird. It doesn't look like a thumbstick. It's like they want a second thumbstick, but they couldn't be bothered to redesign it and create room for a second fun stick, so they just thought, oh, okay, we'll just put like a tiny little button that moves. But it's going to be a success. It will sell well. The 3DS, they own the handheld market at least. Do you think this has any implications on the Wii then? Or not? Or do we just accept that the Wii U is not going to be a success this time round?
I don't know that will affect the Wii U at all.
No,
but it might alienate users of the current 3DS.
You reckon?
Well, there's talk of exclusive games for the new one.
Yeah, that's a risky move, isn't it?
That's not the way I'd go. It's not like they've gone in the console market where they've upgraded from like the 360 and PS3 to the One and PS4. It's not that kind of thing. You've added a few little tiny tweaks, so you're not going to be.
It is more powerful, but I don't think it's fundamental. Like not a generational leap.
It's not a big enough leap for them to suddenly turn around and exclusively make games for one particular generation of it.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. I suppose. I mean, like you say, it's always a risk putting extra games out there, or like exclusive games on a. But the 3DS is always pretty cheap, and it's targeted for kids. Kids will ask their parents to buy them. Parents will cave. But I'm not going to buy it. I'm going to stay strong. Keep supporting that Vita. That's where the future lies at handheld. I don't care what anyone says. The Vita will always win. Okay, number 3 on our list, and it's been announced that PS4 and Vita will now be getting theme support, similar to the PS3. Chris, I know you're the Xbox fan, so you can just sit quietly for a second. Dan, did you... Big deal for you? Do you care at all?
Not really, because...
Did you ever even use them on the PS3?
I did change my PS3 one, but that's because it had like default one option.
Yeah.
And I changed it. But I spend so little time in the menus, I don't care what colour it is.
Yeah.
I'm literally going from boot up the console
to the game. Yeah.
That takes about 20 seconds.
I think it's just one of these little things where it's probably not that difficult for them to add. It will appease the minority. There are people that probably like doing them. Yeah. And there are some cool themes that have been created for PS3. Like, I'm not saying that there wasn't. There were some pretty cool themes, but for the amount of time you spend on it,
it's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal.
But it's all been bundled in as part of their big 2.0 firmware update.
2.0 and 3.3 for Vita, or maybe 3.4. I should have researched that really. It's one of those anyway. Chris, would you want them to come to Xbox, like customizable themes, or do you feel what it does is already good enough?
Not really fussed. I didn't see the point in it asking me to change the colour at the beginning.
Is it just... Yeah, it's...
I changed it because they asked me to put a colour on it, but I'm not that bothered if it was just a standard Xbox green or white.
Yeah, I kept mine as green as well, and my my PS4 is still blue. I don't really care, but there will be people out there that do, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay, number 4 on our list, and this week we're going to be giving a update on EA Access. EA announced this week that Need for Speed Rivals will be added to the vault. We've already talked about this briefly, so we won't go into too much details. But very quickly, EA Access is EA's kind of on-demand service. We kind of called it like a gaming Netflix, where you pay £5 a month or £5 a year, and you have access to a vault of games. At the moment, there was FIFA 14, Madden 25, Battlefield 3? 4? The last Battlefield.
4.
I don't really care, it's only Battlefield. Peggle 2, and now Need for Speed Rivals in there. I think it's good value, and it's only going to increase. Once these games go into the vault, they will never be taken out. That's what they've said.
We'll see.
We'll see. But yes, you're never going to have new release games in there. But what they have done, they did for Madden, where a week before the release you can play a trial period for 6 hours, which is it's basically like an enhanced demo. They're also now doing that for FIFA and NHL in the coming weeks as well.
Okay.
So if you're on the edge about buying that NHL, you can play it for 6 hours. And some people moaned that it was only 6 hours, but I'd say 6 hours is actually quite a decent amount of time to play a game.
Yeah, 6 hours.
For £5 a month, and you get all those other games for free. You get discounts on their store as well. Is it something that you'd be interested in?
Sounds brilliant, to be honest. They've got a huge range of games. Everyone likes them. And they're expensive games as well. They're games that don't decrease in value that much, even when they are a year old. So it's definitely something I'd be interested in. It's definitely cheaper than going out and buying one of those games a year on. So
definitely. I mean, those games like those sports series games, FIFA, NHL, Madden, if they're going to be putting year-old games into the vault every year, that's perfect for the people that don't need the latest version every year. Like I don't think I would buy Madden every year personally. I buy it every now and then.
Yeah.
So like for me, that's perfect. Just as this is Xbox only because PlayStation said it didn't represent fair value.
Yeah, and they've gone with their own.
They've got their PlayStation Plus that they give away for free, which is
plus their own PlayStation Now.
And their PlayStation Now. So we'll obviously probably not see any more EA games on PlayStation Plus anytime soon. But I will add this quick note for you here, Dan. Peggle 2 is coming to the PS4.
Yes.
So
let's see that.
That's a good game. You should play that.
I might pick that up.
But no, yeah. In summary, EA Access, great service. I'm signed up. I think you should.
Yeah,
30 quid a year. It's the price of one game.
Yeah.
You know, bargain. Everyone else should buy it as well. Even if you don't want to give EA money, it's too good to turn down.
Yeah.
Okay, number 5 and the final item on our news list this week, and an interesting new indie game has been announced called Screen Cheat. Guys, you've seen a bit about this. What were your first impressions of it, Dan?
It takes you back to the sort of times, N64, where you're all sat around the same TV, 4-player split screen.
Yeah.
Getting accused of looking at someone else's screen to work out where someone is, which is obviously the point of this game.
Yeah,
because your opponents are invisible. If I read
yeah,
that right.
You can't you can't see the other characters on your screen.
So you've got to look at theirs to work out where they are.
Yeah.
So that looks like an interesting game that you'd want to all be in. I don't know, is it meant to be played on one big screen, everyone together, or is it meant to be something over like the internet?
Yeah, I think we said it was it local and online, they said?
I think so, yeah.
But
I only see that really working as a fun game when you're local.
Yeah.
I think
definitely
like more fun local.
Because you don't get the same sort of atmosphere if you're playing against, someone in Hong Kong, someone in the US, and
you can't shout at someone for looking at your screen. Yeah.
It's not the same as where it's like, oh, you bastard.
Yeah. But no, I think it'll be good fun. It's obviously we should add that the screen the look and feel of the game is all very colourful, so it's easy to work out.
Yeah,
they've got specific environments which make it easier to tell where someone else is.
Yeah,
basically.
like from what I was reading, it's like divided into 4 separate colours each one. So it's like, well, that screen is in yellow area kind of thing, so you must be in this bit.
I'm still interested to see though, even if that bit is yellow, how are you going to know exactly where that character is, like to the spot of being able to shoot? Like when you shoot them, do like maybe their outline appear? Or
from what I've seen, there's kind of there's specific parts of the maps that you'll recognise. Like they'll have an item on the map which is quite unique to there, so you can say, oh look, they've just walked past that blue tree. You know where they are.
Shoot in front of the blue tree.
Yeah, basically that kind of thing, and it just makes it easier for you to be able to see where they are. I think they've put those kind of bits in it, but
yeah. No, I like all these indie devs trying original ideas. In a world where we have, annualized releases and reboots, it's nice to see people trying something different, and
as opposed to making several versions of Flappy Bird, and stuff like that. It's a nice new idea compared to cloning something and calling it something different when it's blatantly the same game. Think of how many rip-offs Minecraft had.
Yeah, well, any game that's popular will always automatically be ripped off, and it's going to be coming out on Steam in October this year. But I think you mentioned it might also be available for Mac as well. Did you say?
Yeah, Mac and Linux, and it's cross-platform compatible. So
anyone that's got a computer of any form should be able to play it.
Is there any word on it being console, or is it currently
not at the moment?
PC.
So yeah, we might have to all come round to your house, Chris, and play it.
Awesome.
Because I only have a MacBook and it's rubbish and old. So yeah, that'd be no specific date, just October, but that's next month, so pretty soon.
You can already pre-buy it.
You can pre. Oh yeah, the beta's available
Beta's
now.
available on Steam.
Yeah, and it's $10, so pretty good value as well. Okay, so now it's that time of the show where we will feature our game of the week. And this week we're talking about Madden 2015. Guys, we've all got various different experiences of Madden. I've played a couple, including last year's and then like the NFL Street Series. Chris, what's your experience on it?
I played last year's. That was the first one I've ever played. And,
Okay.
got a few hours out of it, but not a heavy Madden player.
No, and but Dan, I think you trump us slightly, don't you?
Well, the first game I ever played was Madden 2003.
Okay.
Can't say I got it in 2003, but that's the first one I owned,
Yeah.
and been playing the series ever since.
Every single one.
I can't think that I've missed one, but again,
That's 12. It's 12 years, so I'll let you off.
If
yeah.
I picked 03 up in
Maybe 05 or
like
something.
a couple
Yeah.
of years, I've picked up everything since then,
Okay, so
as far as I know. But
it's a pretty fair assessment to say that you're a serious Madden fan.
yes,
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's actually reflected because me and Chris, we both played Madden for the first time just before filming. We both had a game against you and both lost quite. Well, I lost quite comfortably. What was yours? I can't remember how.
we
8-0.
played a half, and we was 8-0.
Yeah. Okay. So you're probably best placed to maybe give the viewers of all the features in the game because obviously we've only seen the exhibition. What modes are available in this year's Madden?
Game modes, it's very similar to Madden 25 of last year.
Yeah.
Obviously not 2025, but they're
Yeah. What's going to happen when the year 25 comes out? There's going to be done 2 Madden 25s. Well, I suppose
that's
it is
for future EA to worry about.
It is
really,
10 years
isn't
away,
it?
I suppose. Yeah.
But there's the Connected Careers mode, which
Okay.
has made its return, which allows you to either be a owner, coach, or player on a team with varying degrees of control of
Okay.
what goes on depending on what you pick. There's the Madden's version of Ultimate Team, so same thing that you'll come across in FIFA and NHL and pretty much any other EA sports game that they have.
Their card trading game where they make all their money.
Yeah, and also if you don't want to play anything at length, there's still the options of doing a quick game. You got your practice if you want to learn things. There's the skill trainer, which will break it down even more. So if you want to try and understand, say, how to use the run game, you can just spend your time focusing on that. And there's also a thing called the Gauntlet, which basically is a challenge mode where you want to try and advance as much as you can, but it gives you different scenarios and things you have to complete.
Okay.
It might be simple as make a tackle, to run down the entire field while about 20 players try and tackle you behind your offensive line.
Okay.
But it's sometimes over the top challenges. For
Yeah.
example,
Okay. So it's not a simulation. It's like a mini game.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Okay, that sounds cool. Chris, I know you played career quite a bit last time. You got into the player mode, didn't you? The be a pro. How did you find that played as like in comparison to, say, for someone new who's playing Madden for the first time? How does that compare to, say, like the FIFA single player ones?
It's pretty similar, to be honest. So not a huge difference in the.
You like pick a player and
Yeah, you pick your player, you pick your team you want to play for. You kind of.
Okay, so you pick the team. You don't get.
Yeah, no, there's
that changed
there's no
this
draft
year?
process as far as I'm aware. It's exactly the same thing.
Okay, so
Your backstory is you pick what round you went, kind of thing. So it's a range of like early pick. You're expected to be really, really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your stats are higher. Like later rounds, it's like you're not expected to do as well. So basically, your team won't be angry with you if you don't meet certain goals.
But that's almost like a challenge, like to kind of prove yourself to be.
But your stats will be lower, and then there's undrafted, where it's like your stats are much lower than anyone in the early round, and the team basically like, if you catch the ball once, we'll be happy. Kind of thing. In comparison,
it's almost a difficulty level.
Yeah,
it's a difficulty level within difficulty level. That kind of sounds quite cool, but I like from my personal point of view, I like the NHL feature of letting you work your way for the draft and then having like interviews. Is that?
I would like that. as something that
It's
exists.
just an extra feature which would be nice to have in the game. So maybe that's one of the things to put in the negative column. But before we kind of slam the game too much, let's focus on some of the pros. Chris, what was the first thing you kind of noticed, like picking up the game for the first time? Because for me, it was just the visuals was the immediate thing.
Yeah, it looks really nice. It looks very smooth. I think it's definite improvement on last time.
Yeah,
you can see they've had an extra year basically to work on.
You can tell basically that they've spent some time and probably had some actual help brought in to make it look like an NFL Sunday presentation.
Yeah, no, that looks
scoreboard ticker and everything like that looks.
I did notice that straight away.
It looks like something you watch when you're watching NFL on TV.
Yeah, because it even had
like
the
a custom kind of random blocky scoreboard ticker thing where it's just like shoved up in a corner. Right?
Yeah, because I noticed they had the NBC guys, where the camera pans over and then they introduced the game. So that's quite that's a cool
that
little
was an
touch.
introduction. I think maybe last year.
Okay.
Where they actually brought them in as animated visuals and so on.
Yeah.
But again, it's something that's been smoothed up a bit more.
Yeah, no, that definitely. I was the same as Chris. I played it last year, and this year it does look better. The players seem to move smoother across the pitch as well. Like player animations
they don't
look
look
good.
like they're skating as much as they like.
Okay.
What it used to be with Madden and so on is the sort of like the run movement rather than their feet sort of actually planting on the ground. It would be like almost ice hockey kind of.
It was a very kind of like smooth slide with it.
Their feet were gliding pretty much on the surface.
Okay. Was there anything else on the positive side? Like obviously then basically the things that you can see clearly. Was there any like kind of little improvements that you've noticed so far? I mean, I know it's only a week in, stuff will always happen.
I haven't had a massive amount of time to see everything, but they've brought in a new sort of defensive sort of side of the ball when you're playing. So like if you're on the defensive line when the ball snaps, you've got a little mini game to try and get yourself around.
So
you're trying to press buttons at timing and so on. So it's all about that rather than just flicking the stick left and right to get your guy round. There's like the new tackling system. They brought the tackle cone, which can like so you know what direction you should be facing, and if you're outside the cone, you're obviously not going to get a tackle. Again, if you hit X at the right time, it will prompt your guy to actually make up a proper wrap and tackle.
Okay. So it makes basically defense a bit more fun then, would you say?
Yeah, it's little improvements like that of just because let's face it was kind of bland.
Yeah, no, there was sometimes when if I was ever in a rush, I would actually just sim the defense and just play offense. So to know that it's going to be improved. I mean, no one likes defending in any game, any sports game at all. It's the chore you have to do. So if they can make it more fun, that's obviously a good thing. Anything else on the positives that you've seen, or I mean, obviously it's still an ongoing process.
Yeah, I haven't had enough time really to fully say.
Yeah, that's fine.
To be honest.
Now, obviously, we talked before about one thing on the single player being a bit of not single player, be a pro mode, maybe in the comments. Is there anything else that you don't like about Madden that you feel they haven't yet improved?
There's something when you're the quarterback in the pocket, and this has been like for years now. It's just maybe it's coding, maybe they just can't get to do anything. Is your quarterback's in the pocket, he sort of like shrugs off a hit because the defenders come at him at a weird angle, so he's kind of shrugged them off. So there's like a nice big hole for him to scramble through in the line. It's like first down, easy if you go. Press the controls, no response. It's almost as if that shrug off the hit has frozen your quarterback for like a good 2 or 3 seconds.
Okay.
So it's like pressure's coming, you can't get away, you can't throw the ball off, you can't do anything, and then all of a sudden, there he goes. But by then, everything's broken down and like the open goal, the open space is gone. And I don't know if that's something where it's just in the coding.
Yeah, sure. I mean, from what I've heard, like when you hear like interviews with developers and stuff, it's at the end of the day, this is an annualized game.
Yeah.
They only have so much time to fix everything. I'm sure they have like a massive list of everything they want to do, but then they have to probably prioritise and pick the top 3 or 4. And if enough people in the community say this is a problem, they'll be aware of it and they will eventually fix it. It's priority, isn't it?
I mean, it doesn't happen all the time. It's a rare occurrence, really, at the end of the day, in terms of the number of snaps I take on offense. It's the number of times I see that happen.
Yeah, well,
it's frustrating if it's the drive killing moment.
no,
Otherwise, you just live with it.
I didn't notice it in the couple of games I've played, and did you notice? No, so it obviously doesn't happen every time.
No, exactly.
So that's not a breaker. Okay, so
I've got one other thing.
go on.
Commentary. Yeah,
Well,
it's still kind of bland. I mean, like, it's a sports game. They've got obviously professional people to come in, so it's their job. In terms of, they've got Jim Nantz and Phil Simms, who are actual NFL commentators, providing the commentary, same as they do every year. Man, they bring in actual announcers. There's only so many lines and how much time they can bring them in. But once you've played a couple of games,
it's the same lines.
Just hearing the same sort of stuff, and it doesn't always line up. It's like they're talking about someone who's not on the field or something that's not happened.
Especially when you're playing as the same team over and over again, you'll hear those same things.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not an isolated issue to Madden, though. That's just because
it's a sports game.
It's a sports. It's so there's so many different variables that can happen. Like you say, there's only so many lines they can record.
Yeah. The only way you can get around that sort of thing is if you start bringing in voice actors. You're doing it on the cheap. You're not trying to pretend, you're not trying to have actual named announcers and so on. You're just going with a bunch of people, making up your own commentary crews, and then just getting them to record hours and hours and hours of dialogue.
But then, it's still the case of will they have enough for every scenario?
Yeah,
so.
but
Okay, well, my opinion, just closing up now. My opinion of this game is it's more Madden, but it is fun. You can tell it's not just Madden 25 with new rosters.
Shiny.
No, I mean, Chris, me and you are the more casual fans. Do you think you'll be buying this year's one?
I probably won't be buying this year's. There's a lot of other games that I'll be buying, but I think I'll give this year a miss. Maybe play it again when it's on EA.
Oh, the EA
access.
Yeah.
And then possibly think about buying next year's, but I think I'll give this year a miss.
Yeah, that's fair enough, and I think a lot of the more casual sports fans out there will probably side with you. You know, if they bought last year's, they don't need this year's. But if they haven't yet got one for the next gen, now's a good time to jump in.
This is the one to get on the next gen console.
It's better to spend the full money rather than
25.
Yeah.
And if you've given it a miss for a few years because you're not seeing any big changes, I feel enough has now changed in the last few years collectively.
Yeah.
That have improved the game overall.
But if you're a hardcore fan of the series, will they? I think they'll be happy with buying this version.
Yeah. At
the end of the day, it's still a good game. It's always been decent, and I think this year's no different. Okay, guys, so there you go. There's our opinions on Madden. If you do go out and buy it, I'm pretty sure you will not be disappointed. If you've enjoyed what you've watched today, please do like this video, subscribe to our channel. If you want to talk about Madden or anything we've talked about in this video, please do leave a comment down below and we will respond to you. For now, Dan.
Cheers, Matt.
Thank you. And Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you. Did you enjoy this?
Yeah, it was good.
Good. Well, plenty more of Chris to come as the sports season really heats up. But for everyone out there, we will see you next Monday.